Everyone, and welcome to this week's SIIA Tech Chats. Joining me today is Tom Krackeler, SVP of Products at Zuora. Tom, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Rihanna. Looking forward to talking.
So I know a lot of our audience is definitely familiar with Zuora, but for those who aren't, maybe you could start by giving us a little bit of background on Zuora and what makes your platform unique.
Yeah, so Zuora is a software as a service company, and we serve what we call the subscription economy. And these are companies that have a subscription business model. So companies like Financial Times or HBO or Google Nest or Box, they sort of have a recurring revenue model. And they use Zuora to drive business model innovation. So new kinds of ways to price and package, automating complex billing and payments, new ways to do revenue recognition with these business models, and even subscriber analytics to understand who their customers are. And the reason all this is happening, if you just take a step back, is all of us as consumers are kind of witnessing this generational shift in company business models. And we're not buying products the way we used to. You know, we now subscribe to Netflix if we want to see movies, or we use Uber if we want to go somewhere. Or as a business, we will subscribe to software in the cloud like Salesforce or Box. And Zuora is a company that basically powers the technology behind what makes those sort of business models possible. And all sorts of different industries are going through this shift, and it's wreaking havoc on their back office, on their ERP systems, and on how they do order to cash. And Zuora is basically here to solve that problem for those companies. That's what we do.
So as we kind of get ready to close out 2017 and heading into 2018, how do you feel Zuora is positioned to serve your enterprise clients?
Well, this is something that we see as a big long-term shift that's going on, happening over years and years. And so when we look at our enterprise clients, we actually see a variety of different industries that are all going through these similar disruptions. So we see manufacturing companies like Caterpillar and Ford and GM that are saying, okay, we may see car sales as flat in the next 10 years, but we're going to monetize our customer relationships with connected car services and mobility as a service and apps and software. And so, we're serving companies like that as they kind of go through those business model changes. We're seeing big software companies like Symantec and HP Enterprise, now Hewlett-Packard, are saying we've got to distribute everything now through the cloud and through subscriptions. And of course, we've been seeing it through media companies like HBO and Financial Times and Time Inc. And even, the best and new technology companies and startups like DocuSign and Box and Zendesk are all kind of what we see as, enterprises that we're serving that are thriving with these new business models, and really are our focus as we turn to next year. We look at somebody like Box, and we see, they started on Zuora maybe 7-8 years ago. They were a $3 million business, and they did, their entire order to cash and customer acquisition and billing through Zuora. Now, they zoom past 400 million in revenue. They've never had to re-architect their whole order to cash backend or go and do an entire IT redo. So those are the sort of things that we see as we look to the market. We look at customers we want to serve turning in from this year into next.
So let's talk a little bit about the subscribers. So how do you learn about changes in subscriber behavior? I mean, do you use specific technologies?
Yeah, so that's a big thing because the way it used to be is you go to market and you say, oh, I've got this product, I've got this widget I want to sell, and I'm going to take it to market through these different channels, and it might be third parties or distributors, and you might not even really know who your customer is. You might not know their name, you might not have an ID. And this new world in the subscription economy where we're serving, it's all about designing your products, designing your services, designing your entire business around your customer or around your subscriber. And part of that means you've got to be able to continually improve and innovate and personalize what you're offering. And you're only going to do that if you really understand who your customer is. And part of that is understanding how they use your product or service, their behaviors and usage and engagement. Part of it is going to be about understanding opportunities for upgrades and downgrades and all the sort of new types of customer touch points you have. And in fact, subscription businesses, I think I saw the stat that about 25 or 23% of new revenue is through upsells and expansion to the existing customer base versus acquiring new customers. And so what we do at Zuora is basically provide the ability to have analytics and dashboards and insights about who those subscribers are, how they utilize your service, what their lifetime value is, if they're likely to renew or churn. And we do that by overlaying kind of usage and behavioral data with demographics with their financial and subscription data, making that possible.
Fantastic. Now, as we do head into 2018, can you give us any insight onto what we're going to see next from Zuora, maybe from a product standpoint or even markets served?
Yeah. So when we look at the core of our product, it's something that we call Zuora Central, and that is the platform that we've developed over the last 10 years for subscription companies to do order to cash. And that has components around a pricing engine and a rating engine and metrics engines and payments engines and all these things that allow Zuora to serve as a kind of hub of a whole order to cash ecosystem. And so we, on top of that platform, we've built all the products that we go to market with. So we have our billing product and our revenue recognition product and our collections and analytics. So we're going to continue to build order to cash, subscription-based order to cash products on that platform. We've recently launched publicly our app store, and we have over 100 apps on that from 50 different partners. So we have our customers are continuing to ask us for new types of apps. Sometimes it might be e-commerce built for subscription or other things that what's out there doesn't really work for recurring revenue and subscription business models. And so, we're going to continue to build new products and enable third parties to build products on Zuora Central platform going forward.
Tom, thank you. And I really appreciate your time and insights today. For more information on Zuora, you can visit their website and tune in next week for SIIA Tech Chats.